Hello, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. Sorry about that little short snafu. I don't know why I decided to present from there, but we are moving on. Lesson 6 for health. Um, we are going to be talking about tobacco and alcohol. So it might seem like a short lesson, but there's definitely a lot of content, and we'll kind of build on it at a later date when we start looking at um, more spiritual health. Okay? So first of all, some facts um, on tobacco. Nicotine causes the blood vessels to constrict, which increases your blood pressure. So nicotine is what's in tobacco. Smoking may be harmful to your liver, which is responsible for processing drugs, alcohol, and other toxins and removing them from your body. So excessive smoking, and we'll soon find excessive drinking, can damage your liver, which then doesn't help it process all those. Smoking may be harmful to your immune system, which protects the body from foreign substances. Your immune system is also what helps you when you're sick. It helps you bounce back and it helps keep you healthy. An ulcer is an open sore in the lining of the stomach that may be caused by smoking. Smoking may also damage the esophagus, so that's in your throat area, so the esophagus, which allows the passage of food from the pharynx to the stomach. And then smoking causes the progressive limitation of airflow in and out of the lungs. So the more you smoke, the longer you smoke, your airflow gets worse and worse. So a couple more. Emphysema, nice big word there. Emphysema, which may be caused by smoking, results in labored breathing and increased susceptibility to infection. So labored breathing is like worsened breathing. You're having a hard time. You're working to breathe. So we talk about labor as work. So you're working harder to breathe. And then increased susceptibility to infection means that you could get an infection easier. You're at more of a risk to get one. Excuse me. Smoking causes drastic changes in the digestive system, which is responsible for converting foods into the nutrients the body needs to survive. So another big important thing. And then smoking can lead to cancer of the larynx and esophagus because it irritates the membranes of the throat. Okay? The smoking and the puffing and the constant smoke is causing damage and irritating the membranes of the throat. Okay, what about alcohol? Alcohol is categorized in 3 ways. You have beer, you have wine, which is usually made from fruit, and then you have spirits, which are distilled beverages such as whiskey, vodka, and gin. But there are more than just that. A few drinks do not harm most people. They can have an effect on like younger people and people that are smaller. And drinking when you're pregnant is also not good. It can harm the baby. So a few drinks do not harm most people, but excessive drinking, meaning a lot, can cause many health problems, including premature death. So premature means before you're supposed to, so early. So there are many factors that can cause problems with alcohol. So when the alcohol you're drinking increases the amount and the time that you're consuming it decreases, the effects of alcohol become more apparent, meaning they're more obvious. So some of you might recognize that as you're spelling when you're spelling words apparent. So a smaller person will show signs and effects sooner than a bigger person because a smaller person doesn't have as much weight and like body fat to help slow it down, whereas a bigger person has more to them. So what are some of the effects of alcohol? Well, some of the obvious ones that you would see: slurred speech and impaired movements, senses, and judgment, meaning they're not like normal, you're going to struggle doing them. And then difficult to remember, think, pay attention, or learn. So I actually didn't know this until I started researching for our lesson, but it can take a month after just 5 drinks to return a person's brain to normal function. So the first thing that I think of and the first thing that the book listed was partying. So typically I think of it as college, high school. Um, Maybe it's something that you do, I hope not, but so you think of them partying over the weekend. Well, they're probably having more than 5 drinks, which means that it's going to take them a month to return to normal function, to be able to um, make good decisions, like think abstractly and be creative. But if they're doing that every week, then it's not going to repair itself. Like your brain is not going to return to normal function. Um, so let's say someone had 5 drinks and then they didn't drink ever again in their whole life. From that time that they had those 5 drinks, it's still going to take a whole month to return their brain to normal function. Okay, so that's how important it is to not drink excessively, because your brain, I mean, you're kind of ruining that whole month. You're not going to be able to do all that stuff. Um, but what are some other problems? Well, accidents. The major cause of deaths on roadways are drunk drivers, whether it's the drunk driver being killed or someone else who is an innocent bystander. Um, so accidents happen because of lack of or difficulty in judgment and decision making. So we talked about impaired judgments and decisions. So I'm driving my car and I had been drinking, so my judgment's going to be impaired. So maybe I can't tell how far that car away is away. Or maybe I can't tell what color that stoplight is. Oh, I missed that stop sign. Okay, so lots of things can happen, which we don't want to happen. So another big problem of drinking excessively. And then the devastation on organs. There are a lot of organs in your body, and if they shut down, that's a big problem. And alcohol really can take a toll on them, especially if it's excessive drinking. But so not just car accidents though. Those who are under the influence of alcohol can have trouble at work, whether it's operating machines or just in general doing the job. But they can have trouble with something as simple as just walking around their home, a place that you are every single day. You think you know it, but they have trouble because that lack of judgment and the impaired judgment is there. Um, so before I tell you your assignment, we are going to look at a couple pictures here. So first we have tobacco and your body. So I'm not going to read every single thing, but these are linked on the Edmodo post, so you can check these out for your assignment. But so we have tobacco first. So we have smoker's palate, which is black patches on the palate. That's your throat. We have gum disease. Okay, so we said smoker's palate, we have gum disease, receding gums, tooth decay and tooth loss, bad breath, oral cancer, lip cancer, cancer of the cheek and gum, cancer of the larynx, cancer of the esophagus. Those are all right here. We have heart disease, emphysema, chronic bronchitis, cancer of the kidney, raises blood pressure, mineral content of the bone is reduced, which can be a problem with osteoporosis. We have bladder cancer, pancreatic cancer. Maybe you're thinking that the common one here is cancer. There are a lot of cancers that are caused from smoking. All right, you can check out the other ones for yourself. What about alcohol? We have headaches, Korsakoff psychosis, lapse of memory or blackouts, cancer of the mouth, cancer of the throat, cancer of the esophagus. We have gastric ulcers, nausea, inflammation of the pancreas, extreme tremors found in delirium tremens. We have fetal alcohol syndrome, which I mentioned back to if a pregnant woman is drinking, it's possible that their baby could have this. A combination of alcohol and drugs, such as commonly used sleeping pills, tranquilizers, antibiotics, aspirin, can be fatal, even when both are taken in non-lethal doses. So there's a lot. There's a lot for both of these. Like I said, you have access to this in the Edmodo page or in the Edmodo post. So your assignment is to complete the questions for lesson 6 on Edmodo. It first is going to be choosing whether it's something that happens because of alcohol, because of tobacco, or because of both. Read the directions carefully because I did give you a hint on how many each are used. If you have any questions, let me know.